Hello, folks. Dean Linke, honored to be surrounded by greatness. The 33-year head coach of the Terps, Missy Meharg, Maryland All-America, and USA Rising Star Linnea Gonzales, and the future of the franchise, Emma DeBerdine. Great to be with you all. Are you ready to go to work?
Dean, thanks so much for having us. Terps, how you doing?
Good.
Awesome to be together today. What a great opportunity to showcase Big Ten field hockey coming into our 7th season. This is such an honor, and 2 great games out in Chicago. Thanks for having us, and let's get at this.
Let's get at this indeed. As we begin to roll the tape, as we start with the 2018 Big Ten Championship game against Lisa Salucci's Iowa Hawkeyes at Northwestern. And Missy, as we dive into this game, I have to believe, as you see the trophy and we roll the tape, the Big Ten Tournament Championship is on your team's checklist every year.
You know, we like to think that why we do it is to put ourselves in position to win championships. So we'd love to be in position. You got to get there first. And this was a team that was coming on strong. I've been getting better and better. And definitely the best 2 teams in 2018 were competing for the title.
Linnea, when you see the huddle, right now it's Iowa. In a second, we're going to see Maryland. What is the message in that huddle right before you start?
Yeah, in the huddle, always just last few words before we start the game, kind of to get everyone pumped up and get the energy going. So, yeah, that's kind of what we do in the pregame huddle there.
Oh, Nea, you are being so subtle. This one is so great with this team in 18 as our captain. I mean, her energy, we'd stand on the sideline. I just hear her just getting everybody so fired up. You know, every team's different with that. And I love the way you led that group. Really incredible.
During this B1G video recall, as you see Iowa on the attack here, Missy, you're going to see Linnea Gonzales, your All-American. In fact, she was the MVP of this tournament, doing it on both sides. As good as she was offensively, her defensive work stood out to me.
Well, I mean, Linnea, she won't say it, but she is one of the most mentally to physically fit athlete that's ever played at Maryland. And I think the year that she's had with the national team through the Pro League, you know, I am biased, but I think she was the most dominant player for the United States in 2020. And her ability to perform technical decisions in a high physio state or high intensity state is very high. But she works super hard by herself. And that's what kind of separates her. I mean, those guys who can do that hard work when nobody's watching and really accept the fact of being okay, being uncomfortable, you're going to have great performance.
Got that from Maryland, Missy, with the program and all that. That's for sure.
Linnea, that was you earlier slowing down the quick transition of Iowa. Now the whistle, but we're seeing the defensive work that Missy just talked about.
Yeah, just kind of working with our defense, getting that tackle back in there. I mean, I feel like as long as we get pressure on the ball, we can get their eyes down and just work together to get a tackle out of it.
You know, we like to think of our defense at all levels like just waves of water, and they're just constantly following up on each other and filling those gaps. And when you have midfielders like Linnea, when she sprints and counterattack and she just pulls everybody with her. And Emma has played a lot of forward for us her first year, but has moved into the midfield. And wow, it's really nice because she too has that aerobic to anaerobic talent like Linnea. So it'll keep Maryland's midfield running for another 3 years, that's for sure.
That last pass, when we watch this turnover, here's Linnea going to work.
Go, BB.
That's you, Nay.
Yeah, wait till we see this replay. Watch Linnea, Missy, draw players to her before she drops it off at the perfect time. It was beautiful.
You know, typically when you see a lead like this and a feint with the ball and Naya with the ball, look how she offsets. Just a little pull to the right, there's a step. But the key is Lizzie DeSoy up on the left, Madison McGuire and Brooke DeBerdine, sister of stretching the field in the front of them so that the defenders have to back up and play those dangerous lines at the same time. All they need to do is do what she does so well. She's so crafty and so fluid, and the feints are so difficult for the defense because she can go either way. And BB is just a shredder. BB loves to receive and seal. You never know with BB. It's kind of like a basketball player. She can just roll off you, and she can strike a ball from her backhand and her forehand the same. So that's one of her go-to shots. So we're not surprised that went in.
All right, Missy, dive in here now. Now you got to go on defense on a penalty corner. The Maryland mentality right here, please.
They're number 11, Katie Birch, world-class player. She's on the England under-21 team. And so in terms of our corner defense unit, we want to make sure that we put pressure on her. She was in the center there. But this one went short. You know, you can see that, well, there's a little bit of question as to what's going on. But again, the dynamic skills of Iowa, this was one of their strengths. They have power skills. I think that was Enzel actually on the short there on the left, number 6, that took that sweep on Cage. Iowa has the variety of power skills, and you can see here that's that's number 6, their center defender, who's on that short side there with Katie Birch in the middle, number 11. This is what I was referencing. You know, this is just gameplay and smartness. I'm not sure that this was really needed to be another recall, another corner. I think this was smart of Nika Lorenz to come out, take a quick play. Obviously, the umpire thought it was dangerous, which is unfortunate because the emotionality of that call, Sarah Holiday, if she had that, 99 out of 100 times, she'd make that save. And it was just the emotionality of having a call maybe not go in the direction that you wished it had. And that was one for sure. I mean, you try to take those restarts so quickly when you have an attack out of a defensive penalty corner because you have numbers upfield. So I'm sure she wishes, Sarah, she had that back. It's great seeing Sarah here. Sarah actually was on our coaching staff this year. She was a student coach, and she coached the goalies. So Noelle Frost and Sky and Christina. So it was fun to have her with us, and she's graduated now.
Never easy to take a big lead on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now you just have a 1-goal lead with a lot of time left. What's the mentality now, Linnea?
Yeah, I don't think you can ever be satisfied with any of these teams. I mean, they can come back in a heartbeat. So for us, it was just keeping possession of the ball because it was getting a bit more physical towards the end as things wired down. But yeah, just having that composure. And you'll see that it gets more physical. And like, I know I wasn't protecting the ball as much as I could have, got it taken off of me, but like right there. But yeah, just the heat of the moment, just staying present and focusing on what we can control. And that was protecting the ball and possessing it.
And, interestingly, they have a man-up field player. They have a kicking back in as their goalie right now. So that what Nay's talking about is so real because now bringing the ball out, they can collapse and they're going to have numbers around you, typically like 3 right around the first pass. And Maryland in this time frame, we had a lot of combinations between Bo Dill and Nika Lorenz to Linnea. So perhaps we played a little bit in their hands by putting her in a collapse situation. And food for thought, Emma.
Yeah, definitely at these moments, definitely protecting the ball and trying to get the ball up into the corner on their side of the field, is keep it as far away from our goal as we can is definitely the biggest thing. So when it does get down, it does get a little stressful. So for sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Emma, as you're watching this back home, I'm wondering if there's more nerves watching and perhaps less nerves playing because Missy just talked about controlling the controllable. You have no control. You're just watching right now. Are you more nervous at home right now?
I was definitely nervous for the team, nervous for Brooke. Yeah, definitely.
Linnea, are you feeling like this is the longest 90 seconds of your life right here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like watching it because it's just like stressful. This must be what my parents feel like. Jeez.
Well, and it's interesting when you're in this situation and you are trying to get the ball so you hold on to it, as Nene said, and control the game when you know that a top player is exactly who they want to have the ball. So they can sacrifice numbers on that player. And many times that player needs to be the decoy. And you can beg your team as much as you want, please don't use Linnea. But it's what they're used to. And I think by the outcome, they made some good choices. And you're tough, Nay, that's for sure. But you can
now
see
you've got
this press right now just because they've got an extra player in the field. And again,
Cool.
how you doing, Nay?
That makes me grateful for like USA, because that's one of the first things that I've learned from being on the team is just protecting the ball. Because if you play teams like Netherlands or Argentina, they're just going to come up to you like that all the time. So that's just comes into basics, like one of the first things I've learned.
Well, you wish you had played with Emma. She's one of the best little stealers like that. She comes at you and pokes and off she goes.
Final few seconds. Maryland can breathe a little easier. Big Ten tournament champions for just the second time and the first time since 2015. Celebration on.
Celebration time, Linnea. That's got to warm your heart.
Yeah, so many memories. I remember how happy everyone was after this game, and just like everyone was cheering and hugging each other. And when we finally got that trophy in our hands, we just like raised it up and started jumping, because it was so nice to get it back after that year. We didn't get it the year before. So it's just a great feeling.
Yeah, and it's also really, when we first moved into the Big Ten, I can't remember exactly how many years ago now, but I feel that the level of the Big Ten is just such a high standard. In this particular year, both Michigan and Maryland went to the Final Four, and I think 5 schools got into the 16. And this is high level hockey, and I couldn't be more proud of where the Big Ten is in terms of the brand that we're playing. And you can see Madison McGuire there celebrating, and her younger sister, I believe, was a freshman on the team, McKenna, right, this year, Nay?
I think so.
And then this year, 19, she's a sophomore. So we had that sibling kind of affair going on as well. So it's exciting. There's nothing better than raising trophies.
All right. Well, that was a great game one to break down on this B1G video recall. Now we're going to look at last year's 2-1 double overtime thriller at Northwestern. That means it's Emma time. You ready to go, Emma?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. This game was outstanding, Emma. As a freshman, this series 4-4 since entering the Big Ten right there, really tight. So anytime Northwestern and Maryland gets together, even as a freshman, you must know that this is going to be a great matchup.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially a lot of girls that I know from my national team, E21 team, are on that team. So definitely a close group of girls who play against each other and with each other a lot. So it's very intense and very competitive, which is really fun.
Several times early on, Missy, I noticed that Maryland's so quick off any whistle, and anytime they lose it, so quick to win it back. Is that part of the Maryland makeup?
Well, the girls can elaborate on this, but one of the most important things is make the game fast and exciting and go forward. And the quicker you can restart that ball, sorry guys, the quicker you can play, and the fans love it and the families love it. And, we always talk about too, run. We can rotate and get some buddies in and have that flair and that energy of the game. I like to play that style a little bit more in the middle of the third of the field and in the front third of the field. That decision in the back third needs to be, if you've really got numbers in your favor and you see that forward pass, then go ahead and do it. When you watch Northwestern, though, they're very good at getting numbers under the ball. And when they play, they tend to slow the game down a bit because they do a lot of closed receiving. So they'll play it forward to play it back, to play it out, to play it forward, to play it back. So it was a chess game for us because we'd like to play fast and we want to make them have to play fast. So by the stats, I would say we did a good job of that. By the stats, I would also say we probably would like to have some of these shots back.
Emma, as you see that right here, not every game can be perfect. You saw not one, but twice the back pass, the pressure from Northwestern winning it back. What do you got to do to regroup as a team when that's happening?
I think we definitely need to make sure we have a bunch of options off of the ball, especially for Bodil in the back, because she does get a lot of pressure on her.
So definitely make sure. Girl.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Missy. The transition, I mean, it is like the fastest show on turf when Maryland's really rolling.
Yeah, it's awfully exciting. When you've got players like Emma and Brooke and Kyler Greenwald who can run with the ball as fast as they can, they actually can eliminate just sheerly. You put a good ball in their front space. That's something we work on a ton so that we keep the forward movement, get the ball in the front space and run as fast as you can with the ball. You win numbers up in the midfield, and that's what happened. That was a great close reception by Linda Cabano. And this is Kelly LePage. She also is a teammate of Nea's. And Nea, maybe you can walk through Kelly's skill sets here, and awesome finish.
Yeah, Kelly's just someone who's really strong on the ball, and she's someone who will also take her 1v1s when she has it. So it was good to see right there in the circle. She took that defender on and just flicked it right in the corner.
Nea, what I love about that goal is it came off the fastest show on turf. As you see it again, you had that great transition. So I feel like Northwestern is already on their heels. And then shortly thereafter, on the restart, you get the goal. So pressure creates opportunity, and they create goals, right?
Yes, and Emma, I think that was just a world-class play because you choose to go when the defender's eyes are down, and as soon as she passes it, and you're the one who sparked that whole play. So I just think that's great.
Yeah, and Em, not to boost you up too high, but then you're forward running, framing the goal cage, getting on the post. BB's on the left, you're on the right, Madison's at the P spot, and these are all the things that we talk about in our training and get goals out of them. And this is where Northwestern is, their statistics in winning referrals, I think they're like 95%. I mean, Tracy Fuchs does a great job. She must train it. We need to train it more. I think we don't have a very high percentage of winning those, but her players are very sure. We can play that back. I'd love to show that because this is what makes 3D skills so difficult to play defense against, and is what Nea does so well. BB picks it up. She gets a shot off, but okay, so this was a very long, how long was this one, you guys? Or
It had to be like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and I think this was their second out of 3 referrals of that game too.
Now, when you see your reaction, Missy, you're just shaking your head. I wish we could have you mic'd up as well to get your comments on what you were saying to the umpires.
Well, clearly I was wrong.
Yeah, I think in Missy's defense, we didn't get to see how close up it was. So we did see 4 players coming at BB and then her go to the ground. So I think it looked a lot worse
Thanks, teammate.
from where we were.
Still 1-0.
It is still 1-0, but since we talked about it with Linnea, knowing that Iowa was fighting to the very end, you had to know Northwestern was going to fight to the very end. It wasn't going to be easy to get out of this 1-0 through regulation, right, Emma?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We knew that they were still in the game. You can tell by their pressure on the ball as well, and they just kept coming back for us. So definitely knew that they were going to keep fighting.
I was trying to remember, were you in the midfield here or were you up on the forward line?
I was up in the forward line. We were playing more of a deep V. I think I was in center forward at that point.
So we had more of 2 pressing, and then you were held back like as a diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what Nea was saying earlier. You've got 3 minutes left here. Possession is everything. Quality of your reception. This is where Northwestern is. They're well coached, and their game plans are just that. Just let them make the mistake. We'll capitalize on their mistake. So just really trying to emphasize that possession, possession, possession.
Northwestern trying to enter the circle. Penalty corner. First one of the afternoon earned by Northwestern, and the timing is perfect.
That's an interesting call. I think our left back, Natalie Bechter, does a pretty good job here. Not positive. I think the fact that she went to the ground probably forced the corner. But again, we like to think that we can be in position to intercept. And that's what's interesting when you get young players. Natalie is a freshman and comes from a culture where you play defense behind a player who gets the ball. So we work super, super hard. She's young, and for her to innately be in front all the time isn't necessarily in her training yet. So she's getting there, though. She's in Emma's class. So this is Bente Becker. She's from Bakker. She's from the Netherlands, and she was, I think, one of the top goal scorers in the NCAA last year. She's a player in your defensive penalty corner. You're going to want to put pressure in and around her. trying to remember what corner defense we played here. Yeah, Hannah Bond is just really good at stifling the play. And this was, unfortunate for for Noe. This was a routine save for her. So, the time and score makes this type of shot, kind of simple-ish shot, challenging. Sometimes you might not be able to see the ball or whatnot. I think she had a good look at it. And I don't know, and maybe Nay, did Bond touch that ball? Did it redeflect a little bit? Let's have a look at that, whether it touched the stick of. No, she just lost sight of it. It got in her pads, and she just lost sight of it. And just tough go there.
All right, so that means overtime. So as we pick it up in the first overtime, Missy Meharg, I've asked you about your mentality at halftime. What is your message to the team heading into overtime? Obviously, the game shortens. It goes to 7v7. So what do you tell the team?
Again, it's, Linnea was speaking about earlier, it's about your technical skills. It's about ball speed, just making them firm, putting the ball where you need it. Build the ball up. When you have the ball in 7-a-side, you really do build it. You don't need to run like crazy people because your physio will die out, and then you'll get beaten on a one-on-one or a one-on-two where you just don't have the stamina anymore to stay in it. Substituting is a lot more difficult. So in that regards, because of the restarts and how quickly, if you substitute and you leave a pocket open, they can all of a sudden go 6 against 5 and you have a goal scored. I remember years ago, Jill Whitmer, we won a national championship in a situation where we were a player up and we put her right on and went right down and won the championship based on that substitution. So it's about that buildup. We talk a lot about the reality of if you have a numbers up situation to goal, take it, win the 2v1, score a goal, take a good shot. If not, if it's even numbers, go in and get a penalty corner where the number difference in the defense is 1 down.
Huge sacrifice right there by Noelle. What a save to really save the game for the Terps. Emma, you're going to have a thing of brilliance in a little bit, but knowing that it's sudden goal, it's instant victory here. When your goalie comes up big like this, it means everything, right?
Yeah, it was terrifying for sure watching that. Noelle obviously did a great job and knew exactly what she was doing in the moment, but it was very scary to watch her do that, especially during that time.
And I mean, in all due respect, she didn't have to play. I think what were the shots in this? Saves were 9-2. So this is one of her 2 saves, and she just got scored on. So the mentality of that, I mean, just brilliant and just high performance. So yeah, she saved the game.
Okay, so now you've gone regulation, you've gone an overtime. We go to the second overtime. Emma, first of all, do you remember how tired you were, how much energy you had put into this game?
Yeah, I remember I had that last run right at the end of the overtime, and I think my skills just totally went away. I just kept running the circle, not really cutting in, and I know that really made me mad, and walking off the field, I needed to get more into it mentally and physically. So I think during the second overtime, that's when we really realized that we needed to use our minds a lot more, as definitely when we were getting tired.
I'd like to get a little bit deeper, Missy, with your penalty corner execution. How often do you change the plays? And with less players out there, are there a specific calls you're making, Missy?
Yeah, I think I was watching this and preparing here, and this was definitely a wasted corner, and I can't recall what we had called at that time. Oftentimes too, it's what the players, with that type of space, with one less defender back there, a lot of it is what the players feel as well and framing, and there seemed to be real question as to what that play was, which is unfortunate.
Emma, you talked about your mind. How about your legs right now?
I think at this point, 4 minutes left, we needed to realize when we could go and when we needed to stay. I think we worked on that a lot with our press, with the forwards, especially at the end of the overtimes, and we needed to pick and choose when we were going.
And here she goes.
Times that I chose, yeah.
The shot and the goal. Emma DeBerdine wins it in overtime.
This is world class, and what makes it world class, and I use that word very sparingly, world class, and to me it means that you actually would be on a team with the best players in your age group in the world. And Emma is that. The pressure on this player with the ball, her ability to use her footwork and a jab, but her ability to jab that and pick up her own jab and take off on it. And then to separate the speed. So jab, footwork, etc. I think it's going to come right here. You can see her really just boom. See how she just pokes it, man. And then she just stays on it, her balance and footwork. But then here, keep her stick right on the ball, weight on the front foot, and just right to the side net. I mean, there's nothing that goalie can do because the goalie is taught to stay on her near side pipe.
I mean, really brilliance, Emma. I think about Michael's final shot. I think about Desmond Howard posing as the Heisman. This is a defining moment in your young career. Break it down, Emma.
Here I definitely saw the ball get away from her stick for just a little second. I knew that I could jab it out. And then a big thing that Katie Bam talks to us about is cutting off that defender as soon as we get ahead of them. So that's definitely something that I knew I had to do. And then I just looked up, and flicking is more my specialty than hitting the ball for sure. So that was definitely something I knew that I should do.
Well, certainly dynasty works when describing Maryland field hockey, and it works with a Hall of Fame coach, the future of the U.S. national team, and the future of the current Terp program. Thanks so much for your time, Missy, Linnea, and Emma, and congratulations on all of your success.
Dean, thanks so much, and thanks, Big Ten.
Thank you.
Thank you.